Chatting with ChatGPT. What's up, Metaverse? What's up, Internet? This is Dan. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I like to talk about the polyglot journey, digital communication, and anything related. All right, so chatting with ChatGPT. The three talking points for this video are: what is ChatGPT? What can it do? And lastly, some controversies. Why talk about this at all? Well, continuing the digital communication series that we're having, in the first video we talked about, will AI take over our jobs? Talked about some things there, but among those things was ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT may not be the only or the best AI tool. However, what I can say is that it is the most accessible and also doesn't really take much to actually use it. All you got to do is go to the OpenAI website, register with an email, and you are in. First talking point, what is it? So ChatGPT is created by OpenAI, and you go to their website to use ChatGPT and other products that they have. The GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The first thing that I could compare this to is something like Google, or rather, when you use Google, the search engine, Googling something. I actually had a chat with ChatGPT, and one of the things that I asked it was, what's the difference between using you and using Google or Googling something? And ChatGPT responded to me saying that one of the things is that a search engine is more up to date. Search engine probably has more up to date information, whereas ChatGPT, it kind of like, it'll tell you also, it says like by my last update, which was done on XX date, which was, I think was when I was chatting with it, probably like about 6 months ago. So not like up to date to the minute. Another thing that it said was that it can only respond with texts. So text output. All right, now second talking point, what can it do? When you Google something, when you use a search engine, the results are web pages. You click on those web pages. It can be a YouTube video. It can be an article. It can be a blog. That is the main output of a search engine. As opposed to ChatGPT, which will actually talk to you and respond to you like a person would, with sentences and paragraphs, and many times even using bullet points to organize the output. So human-like responses. Paragraphs like a mini essay, and also tables. I've actually used it to format tables, and it's actually pretty neat in that aspect. So as far as talking about what can it do, I like to think about the library example. Let's talk about the library example. So I'm sure some of y'all remember what it was like in elementary school when you had to do either a book report or some sort of report somehow. What do? We would go to the library. We would go look for the books, pull the books out, open the books, either write down, photocopy some information, and either go back home or maybe right there in the library, take all that information that we wrote down or copied, synthesize it into some sort of report. That's the part that most of us were lazy to do, is to synthesize the report. Well, ChatGPT can actually output that report. That kind of work that we used to do by going to the library, ChatGPT can just do in a matter of minutes or seconds. Now, the intermediate part right there is Google, right? Just before ChatGPT, after the library, we would go on Google, find out those articles and websites, read those articles and websites, maybe copy and paste information, and then make our synthesis. Okay, now the free version of ChatGPT mainly uses text. There is a paid version that has more features. Among them, and I think one of the more important ones, is using images. And they have one of their products called DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E, or DALL-E, however it's pronounced. That is an image generator, or it works with images. That's important to understand because on social media, on Instagram, all over the internet, we see AI generated images. And at this point, we kind of have a sense for how they look like. Third talking point, some controversies. Since ChatGPT in its basic form is able to output mainly in text using words and for it to be readable as a report, it only lends itself to situations where these outputs can be used. For example, presenting reports. I'm sure some of us have seen those articles about how college students have used ChatGPT to submit their reports. Now that goes into like the topic of plagiarism, which even when Google search was popular, that was also happening back then. So it's kind of like a back and forth between, the students trying to figure out how to use this new technology, and then the teachers and the administration figuring out what to do about it. They're working on it. On a similar vein is storytelling, writing stories, writing fan fiction, writing anything that could be presentable for text, even a blog. There have been some controversial issues dealing with writers for movies, writers for shows, for different things. That's something that has been around the news as well. And also AI-generated art. Now, a lot of AI-generated art is actually kind of, you kind of get a sense for how it looks like. It usually has a very well-designed, very well-done digital art form, but you can also sense it has some sort of glossiness to it. That's how I would describe it. And as you can see, digital artists, people that would do this stuff manually, we're talking about manually maybe using Photoshop, using manual tools, compared to just typing in a prompt into ChatGPT or any other AI generator, and for the tool to just output a digital artwork. There's also been some controversy on that as well. So let's go ahead and continue the conversation. Drop a comment. Have you used ChatGPT? Have you found it useful? Have you found it not so useful? Do you think that this is the basis for other AI tools that can either help us or disrupt things? Let me know in the comments. Catch you all on the next one.